What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Victoria Rose, and today my husband Christopher and I are being the judge, jury, and executioner for Redditors everywhere. Have you ever been in an interaction where you acted a certain way and you thought you was totally justified, and then you left and thought back to yourself, am I the? Well, today we are going on to Reddit's most popular thread, Am I the? We are going to explore the trans topics. Now, I will say I have seen other trans YouTubers do this tag before. I have never watched those videos, so I'm going in blind, baby. I'm going in blind. Also, most of them I've seen are trans men, so like it's not the same. If you're new here, hi, what's up? My name is Victoria Rose. I'm a 25-year-old woman with transgender experience, and this is my wonderful husband, Christopher.
Hello.
Ally. Here on this channel, I talk about all things transgender, from workbooks to commentary videos to more reaction type stuff like this. So if that sounds like fun to you, make sure you subscribe down below, join the family, and never miss out on a new upload. You guys love when I bring Christopher on here, and I love having him, so we got an extra voice.
Happy to be here. There
are so many to go through, so we're gonna jump right in, and before we do, I have a word from our wonderful sponsor over at Catch Beauty. Hey, I have something super exciting to share with you. As a transgender woman, I used to struggle with a lot of unwanted hair. I have spent so much time and money on painful and expensive procedures trying to get rid of all of my body hair, and I figured there must be a better way. That is when I discovered Catch Beauty. This right here has been a game changer for me. I actually can't believe the results that I've seen from this. I mean, look at the before and after pictures. Wow. The best part is I get to do it all from the comfort of my own home. No more awkward and expensive salon visits, no more painful treatments, just smooth skin on my terms. I just upgraded my IPL to the MX2 Pro, and this baby is strong. And guess what? Catch Beauty now has this fantastic hair removal cream and growth inhibitor spray. The cream is so gentle, leaving my skin soft and hair free, and the growth inhibitor spray, girl, obsessed. I've noticed a real difference in the amount of time it takes for my hair to grow back. I have never felt more confident or in control of my beauty routine. On top of just having fantastic products, Catch Beauty is a transgender dedicated brand, and that means so much to me as a transgender woman to see that representation out there. So if you're like me and you are tired of the endless cycle of hair removal, do yourself a favor and go to catchbeauty.com/discount/Rose and use the code ROSE at checkout for money off your order. Thank you so much to Catch Beauty for sponsoring this portion of today's video, and without further ado, let's decide if they are indeed the asshole.
They probably are. All right, for the first one, am I the asshole for pointing out that my coworker is trans/doesn't pass? Ooh.
Oh shit.
It starts with, all right. I'm a European woman in her mid-20s who recently moved to San Francisco for a fancy pants internship. It was a huge culture shock, but in a way, a welcome one. I'm gay. The very girly type people don't really clock as gay, but still. And this is the first time I've ever been out at work. Okay. There is one coworker who we shall call Linda. She's a trans woman, MDEF. Linda's position means that her and I don't interact at work often. Therefore, well, I was told about her before I met her. One of my coworkers told me that she existed, I was due to meet her next week, and that she was a trans woman who uses she, her pronouns. Okay. I met Linda, didn't ask for her pronouns, and just used she, her. Everything went all right. I thought that was the end of it. Now, Linda doesn't pass as a cis woman. Oh geez, starting strong here. She's still a woman, and I'd never misgender her, but it is objectively visible that she is probably a trans woman, not a cis one. Oh god. Okay. This now caused an issue. A few of us had a Halloween get-together and invited Linda. At some point, she and I were alone at our table. We got to talking about what it was like for me to be this very girly gay woman in a male-dominated field in a conservative European country. At some point, I made a remark along the lines of, but of course, you as a trans woman probably face similar experiences. Her face just fell. She started hissing at me about how dare I presume she's trans. She hasn't been misgendered. I did not misgender her. At no point did I use he or anything like that. I just said she was trans, which she is. Yeah. In years, and no one at work has ever asked her for her pronouns, etc. Drunk idiot I was, I blurted out, but we all know. Ooh. Which we do. Oh, here we go. I was extremely confused. Apparently, out of the younger group of coworkers, no one ever actually asked for her pronouns or gender identity because we all, just like me, got told by some colleague who'd been there for longer that this was a trans woman who uses female pronouns. This somehow led Linda to believe that we didn't clock her, which was a huge source of self-esteem for her. Linda now, and I say this without a hint of exaggeration, hates my guts. She confided to another coworker that she's extremely hurt by me pointing out that she doesn't pass, and that it was invasive and rude, and how dare I judge her. I, on the other hand, don't really know what the hell happened here. She is trans. That is a fact of life. Everyone knows it, and it's clearly visible. Am I the asshole for saying what I said?
Okay, well, so let's go back to the title of this. The title of it is, Am I the Asshole for Pointing Out That My Coworker is Trans / Doesn't Pass? If you were to point out to your coworker, saying specifically, you don't pass, like if she had sat down and saying, you know, it's hard for me as a lesbian in a male-dominated field, I'm sure it must be hard for you as a non-passing trans woman, that would be crazy.
That'd be wild.
Now, at no point in here do I say that she said, you don't pass. I think she could have been more delicate when it came to saying, like, we all know. I get what she's saying, and I also have been the coworker that assumed everyone did not know that I was trans, and then found out that they did, and then was like, guess I'm not that bitch.
Well, yeah, she said, but of course, you as a trans woman probably face similar experiences. It seemed to me like her as a lesbian woman was trying to connect with her,
also,
as, you know, as a fellow community member. Like,
exactly. I think queer people tend to clock other queer people more easily, so that doesn't necessarily mean. But then she did say that, you know, we all know.
That was a little bit, that was an asshole comment.
Yeah.
That was. You didn't have to say that. She
didn't have to say that. Now, could the coworker have reacted better? Absolutely. I don't think it was that big of a deal, but I do think maybe you were a little out of line with what you said. Maybe you were a little tipsy and you weren't thinking and normally would have approached it differently. You
could have, I don't know if this was the right call, but you could have just said, well, when we got here, we were just told, I was told that I should use she, her pronouns for you, whatever. Like, someone just made it clear, just so that you were more comfortable. They just wanted to make sure that I was on board with it. Yeah. You could have said that. Saying, but we all know.
But I can totally see how, like, drunk brain would take that whole idea and just summarize it with, but we all know.
I think the challenge was that it started aggressive, where you were just trying to be kind, and then she reacted aggressively, and then it kind of puts you in a defensive position, so I kind of get why you said what you did. Granted, I think both people handled it poorly once it was brought up. I think her bringing it up was fine. It really got messy.
Yeah,
it got messy really quickly.
I'll just say you're not the asshole, but I think it could have been handled better by both parties.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for refusing to accept my trans friend's new name? E and I have been best friends since middle school and are both in our mid-20s. Quarantine has not been kind to E, and in a fit of stress, she broke down and told me that she's always felt like she's wanted to be a woman. I did my best to support him, and after weeks of conversations with me and her therapist, E was eventually able to decide that she's going to transition, share this news with the rest of our friend group, and eventually with her family, and almost everyone has received the news well and has tried to be supportive. Everything has gone surprisingly well for E over the last few months. The few people who didn't like their situation left her life, which, you know, that happens, sucks, but is what it is. And the majority who stuck with her will sometimes still refer to E as he or him, but they quickly correct themselves, and E doesn't mind, especially if she still goes by her male name, until she comes up with a new female name that she likes. And therein lies the problem. E has finally settled on a new name, and proudly shared it with us. It's Star Dancer.
Oh, nope. Y'all relax with those. Relax.
Now they're gonna get me canceled. It's Star Dancer. She wants to be called Star Dancer.
Oh no.
She's going to legally change her name to Star Dancer. I thought it was a joke at first, but no, she's serious about this. I told her that this was extremely stupid and she was making a terrible life decision, and I'm the only person who seems to think so.
Oh no.
No one else, not even her parents, have counseled against this idiocy. Everyone's adopted a live and let live attitude, which is why I'm writing this and asking for additional viewpoints. We've had 2 serious fights over this shit, and now I'm feeling that I'm perfectly in the right for wanting to die on this hill. Our friendship has never been this strained, and if ending it after all these years is what I need to do in order to show how strong my feelings are on the matter, then I'm willing to do it. She's making an absurd, life-changing decision, and as a friend, a best friend, I have a responsibility to prevent her from fucking shit up. Am I the crazy one? Am I really being the asshole here?
Kind of. Victoria, can you share why you chose Victoria, right?
My original name choice, when I first came out to my parents, I told them I wanted the name Astrid. And now, there are people that are named Astrid, and I genuinely think it's a beautiful name, but choosing the name Astrid as a trans person, especially one that wants to blend in, is a little crazy. So I chose Victoria because pulling a name like out of royalty or the Bible or something out of history, like they're names that are classic that you will hear forever. Now Astrid, granted, I'm sure is a unique name, but Star dancer.
Here's the problem. This person is put in a position now where they're the only one being honest.
Yes.
The only one showing that they're a little stressed out about
parents.
it. The parents should have said something about this because your parents said something about Astrid.
Yeah,
and they were doing her a favor.
My mom was like, what name do you think? And I said Astrid. And she goes, no, next.
Part of the challenge of especially being trans in a small town, if you had your name Astrid, not only are you the only Astrid, you're the only trans person. You now put an even bigger target on your back. Like, Star dancer is
they hear the name
not...
and they go, why is that your name? And the first thing that they're gonna think when they see you is trans, because they're gonna be like, why is your, even if you pass perfectly, even if everything else is perfect, they're gonna see the name Star dancer and it's gonna be a question.
And even if Astrid was your name, at the very least, it's a name.
Yes.
Star dancer is not a name. As a best friend, I understand that you want to die on that hill, and I think you should go pretty far on that hill, right? Now, granted, completely saying you're not my friend anymore, it's a little wild.
I would agree.
I would say you should, if they decide to do it, you can like make some space between the two of you for a little while, really like push for them to not go through with it. Like, I get that, but at the end of the day, they're your best friend, and just call him Star.
Right.
Just call him Star, call him S, call him whatever.
You have to say Star dancer. Yeah, I would agree that it sounds like E has like a good support system around her. So it's not like she would be alone, but at the end of the day.
Too supportive.
Yeah, I would say too supportive, if not preying on her downfall. If none of my friends spoke up and I was like, I want to be named Star dancer, that would be a big problem, baby. To me. So I don't think you're the asshole, personally.
I will, however, say, name yourself whatever you want. It's totally a personal choice, but...
He's trying not to get me canceled.
but here's the thing. With the name Star Dancer, I don't even have to see your face. And I know that either your parents or you are wild.
Yes. Yes, crazy parents or like stripper or some kind of like trans or some like spiritual acid drop-in, like what, you know what I mean? That's all that I think of.
Even if it was just Star.
I would agree.
Would be 1,000 times better. Star dancer, especially if it's one word. Girl, if you're putting Star dancer together in one word, lowercase d, Star
Galaxy
dancer.
Twirler. Galaxy Twirler. Moon Prancer.
Dance Master.
Dance Master 3000.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my trans daughter a family heirloom? I have 3 kids, Susan, 17, Jessica, MTF for 4 years, 18 years old, and Matt, 21. There's a tradition on my side of the family where the oldest daughter in the family gets a beautiful diamond necklace when they turn 18. Okay, so I was having a dinner with my family last night when Susan casually asked me if she could please wear the necklace to her junior prom. I told her she could and joked that it doesn't matter because in a year it will be hers. This is where Jessica chimed in and said, "How come I'm not going to get it? I'm the oldest daughter." This made us all quiet, and I really didn't know what to say, as I've never really thought about it, since I always planned on giving it to Susan.
Yeah.
Oh, because recent 4 years, okay.
That's tough.
After thinking for a few seconds, I told Jessica that I have always planned on giving it to Susan, and it wouldn't be fair, but since circumstances have changed, I am willing to go with you to a jewelry store and get you something equally special.
Oh,
okay.
That's wonderful.
Okay. This did not satisfy Jessica, and she got progressively ruder to me. Jessica being rude to me and our fighting led to Susan saying some very transphobic things to Jessica, which made her walk off and cry that I don't wish to repeat. Good. Yeah, we're at an impasse. Yeah, I really don't think giving Jessica the necklace would be the right thing to do. Am I the asshole?
Okay.
Oh no.
So I feel like I have a good perspective on this because I transitioned at 14 and I've been in 18, yeah, you know, I've been 4 years into my transition at 18 years old, and I will say, number one thing to keep in mind is that Jessica, MTF, and Susan, they're teenagers. They're 18 and they're gonna get pissed off, they're gonna be irrational. First of all, I'm sure, granted I don't know your kids, but I'm sure Susan probably didn't mean whatever horrible things she said. She's just an angry little sister that fights with her sister like any other sister.
That's what, 16? 17. I mean, still.
And I understand, like, where... okay. I'm sure that I would feel a little like, I want the necklace. Like, you know, I always thought, like, maybe she grew up hearing that, like, the oldest daughter gets it. Maybe she always dreamt of it and stuff. But you also have to understand that Susan has been told the entire time growing up that it's going to be hers.
Yeah.
And the mom saying that I would love to take you out and buy you a new, like, equally nice.
Great way to handle the situation.
That is,
yeah,
I mean, like, I couldn't think of a better way to handle it. So no, you're not the asshole. I think it makes perfect sense. I think it's gonna be a hard swallow either way. You know, it's never gonna be easy telling either daughter she's not getting it. I think Jessica, the trans girl, overreacted, and Susan,
acted like an asshole.
Yeah.
Susan was the asshole.
Susan's the asshole.
Yes, and I think as a sister, you can say hurtful things to your other sister that maybe you're over-exaggerating just because it's your sister and you feel like you can say those things, but like saying transphobic comments in a situation where your sister is already upset because she's not being recognized as the oldest woman in the thing. Yeah, just
throwing
gasoline on a fire. Yeah. Don't do that. Like, it would have been if Susan just said...
But that's what sisters do as well. That they just say the worst fucking thing they can think of sometimes.
But I do think that the mom handled it extremely well. Yes. For her to say,
I can't think of a better way to handle that.
Well, I mean, to say, hey, listen, Susan was in a lot of ways my first daughter, and I've planned to give it to her. We've talked about giving it to her. It's been a tradition that we were planning on doing. However, I recognize that this is a tough situation, so I'm going to go out. I'm willing to go out and get you a similar necklace that you can then pass down in your family. That's amazing. I mean,
that's amazing.
And that's kind, and it's generous, and it's sweet, and in a lot of ways, it's recognizing that your daughter is a woman in the house, and like, I want you to have a similar experience. That's nice. So I don't think Jessica should, I don't think you're the asshole. I really don't.
Definitely not.
You're the asshole. Susan, get your shit together, Susan.
Am I the asshole for not letting my trans daughter come out to our extended family until after our vacation?
Curious to hear how this goes, yeah.
My daughter, female 17, is transgender, but she's currently only out to her immediate family.
Okay.
My husband and I call her by her preferred name and use the right pronouns for her, but as no one else in the family knows she's trans, they still refer to her by her dead name and with he, him pronouns. So far, this has only been in periods of around an hour or two, so in her words, it's been, quote, slightly bearable. But the thing is, we're going on a week-long vacation with some of our relatives soon, and we are all sharing a house. Because of this, our daughter will be referred to by her dead name and will be presenting as male for a week. She has expressed her discontent with this to the point that she's considering not going on the vacation and staying home.
Kinda get it. I get that.
But her father and I both agree that she should wait until afterwards to come out. It's not that anybody in the family is transphobic. If anything, it's probably the opposite. So it's the problem.
Why are you worried? Yeah.
I'm not worried about her being in any danger or facing transphobic comments, but I worry that it won't be enough time for them to fully understand that her daughter is trans.
It's a week!
And that the topic would take up the entire vacation, which nobody wants. We all just want to be able to have a nice vacation and not have to deal with this gender stuff. Am I in the wrong for not letting her come out, or is my daughter being selfish?
You are in the wrong! You
are in the wrong!
You are an asshole!
Holy shit!
Oh!
You want your trans daughter to detransition for a week? Do you know what it's like to live your entire, do you know what it's like to live your entire life in the wrong body and finally be able to express that and feel like your family loves you and that you're finally being this woman, that you're finally free, and then your parents are not afraid that you're gonna be disconnected from the family, which maybe that could maybe be justified. They're afraid that they're not gonna be able to drink mudslides on the beach and
because of the gender stuff.
That's crazy.
That's where I really flipped all the way.
Yes.
Like,
like, guess what though?
No.
The gender stuff would take up her whole vacation. Either way. You know what I mean? And guess what? You're also gonna have to deal with a miserable kid if they're gonna have to do transition for a week. That's crazy. The gender stuff would take up her week. Like, they would all be talking to her, being like, so this thing, blah, blah, but that doesn't mean they're all gonna be sitting around a table, like, talking about gender.
And here's the thing, if you think your family's gonna be supportive of it, which she was clear that, like, there's probably not gonna be any transphobia, any danger, but she thinks the whole week is gonna be taken up by gender stuff, maybe an evening. Yeah. Right, because chances are the family's gonna have questions and it's a close environment, and like, sure, usually when anybody would like find out that Victoria was trans or something, might have some questions or whatever with my family and stuff, they might have some questions. They probably had like 3 questions and then they apologized for asking the questions. Yeah. And then we all moved on. It doesn't take that long.
Yes.
It doesn't take that long. So maybe the first dinner, you say, hey, there is something I want to share, like, or when you first get there, you make sure she stays in the car. You go in and say, like, hey, just so you know, this is her, she's gonna come in, she's like, yada, yada, yada. Or let her do it, whatever she wants to do. Like,
I have to share this.
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole. I have to share this just memory that even in the most attention-grabbing scenarios, it's still not the center of attention. Let me explain. I once went to
oh boy,
someone's Eagle Award ceremony with my, at the time, partner who
Eagle Scouts?
had transitioned. Yes,
Eagle
Boy
Scouts.
Scouts, Eagle Scouts Award, who was a very close friend with my, at the time, my partner who had just transitioned and did not come out to anybody. We came to the Eagle Awards ceremony. He has since detransitioned. I made a whole video about it. He had long hair, makeup, was wearing a skirt. All eyes, bitch, were on him. But it was still all about the guy getting the Eagle Awards ceremony.
Yeah.
Even then, when it was one of the least accepting places you could be, in a small environment where they have known him since he was a small child. Walking in as a woman, they still didn't say shit. So if you're spending a week with close family who loves your child, you're the asshole.
You cannot convince me otherwise. You are the asshole here.
Period.
Period. Am I the asshole for going off on my blind date who happened to be trans? And this one's tagged everyone sucks.
Oh boy.
Here we go. First off, I would like to say that I'm not transphobic or homophobic in any way.
It's a great way to enter.
I really think it's going bad now. To tell you a bit more about me, I try to be a very open person when I meet someone, especially online. I try to show my vulnerabilities and I try to be as honest as possible. I met June, we'll call her, about 3 months ago on a dating website.
The way that I know her name is April from that.
Only had face pictures, which I already knew could be a red flag, but I ignored it. Honestly, I thought that maybe she was a bit overweight, which is why she wasn't posting full body pictures. I'm personally not attracted by overweight women. However, I was willing to take a chance in meeting her. I already don't like this person.
This already says it.
I'm not homophobic and I do not like big women. What do you, stop.
Yeah, oh my God.
Okay, now on to the date. She requested a specific restaurant because of its location, easy access, lots of people around, good service, okay. A lot of people from the neighborhood go to this restaurant along with many of my old high school friends. I'm 30 years old. 10 minutes passed and she had still not arrived, so getting impatient I started playing a game on my phone, and within a few minutes of playing, she sits down. She introduces herself, and this is where it all went wrong. I immediately saw her face and realized, although this is the same person, the pictures were very altered. Unfortunately, not expecting her to be a man, or bad, I screwed my face in a way that was very inappropriate. I caught myself doing this and immediately changed, but she obviously noticed. Now this goes to dialogue. June. Why did you look at me like that? Me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm just a bit surprised. I didn't expect you to, and briefly paused, to be a man. Oh! At this point, her face turned a bit red, and I can tell she took my comment as disrespectful, which, yeah. And she replied with, I am not a man, I am trans, in all caps. So she clearly screamed it loud enough that people actually turned their heads. Now I feel like we are the center of attention in the restaurant. Me, well, you could have told me. June, I don't see what the difference it makes. I'm still a woman. Me, no, you're a man. Oh, God.
Oh,
I am not gay nor bi. I am not interested in this kind of relationship. I get up and I leave, walked out of the restaurant. She texted me after that, and we continued to argue. I won't go into full detail, but basically her point was that me and her had good chemistry, probably through text, right? And she felt that if I had taken the time to get to know her and love her for who she is, I would feel different and we'd get together. I'm not against trans/homo, I don't like this person, or whatever someone chooses to do with themselves, but I am not homosexual. I want to be with a woman. I love how they wrote, I want to be a woman, accidentally. I don't view trans women as women. Oh, God. They are trans women. Oh, no. I don't want to be with a trans person. I honestly feel like I was catfished for 3 months. If she told me from a long time ago, I would have respectfully told her I'm not interested. Somehow, she found my Facebook information and messaged some of my friends who are now saying I am an asshole and I am too shallow. I don't really agree. So I need some advice. What do you guys think? Am I the asshole? You, my friend, are the asshole. You are the asshole.
You are definitely an asshole, for sure. That's indisputable. But I veer on the side of everyone sucks. There really is no winning number. Because should she have been upfront and honest about being trans? Yes. Have I been on a first date? Just one. It's not like she's hooking up with this guy and whatever, but like gone on a first date to get to know somebody before telling them that I'm trans. Yeah, I think that's okay. But when it comes to like doctoring your photos and like looking very different and
Yeah.
presenting something that differently, it does start to get a little dicey, because then it's like, who are you pretending to be? And I think the same thing would go for anybody that is using like Snapchat filters and all kinds of like Facetune and shit. But to say she's a man,
Yeah, that's where...
to say to her
Yeah.
and to other people that she's a man, that, you know, she's a man, you're not a woman, you're a man. Whoa, that's an asshole. I'm gonna go right ahead and say that's a fat, juicy, dripping asshole.
Oh, should she have mentioned that she's trans within those 3 months? Absolutely.
Oh, 3 months? Yeah.
It was 3 months of conversation.
Yeah.
She should have.
I agree.
Now, doctoring the photos and stuff, like Victoria said, everyone doctors their photos online, and like, it's
You never
it's
FaceTimed
fine.
in 3 months?
You should have FaceTimed. But like, here's the thing. What your response shows, this would have been the best case scenario. If you weren't okay with it, she came in, she sat down, and you were like, you don't look like you did in your pictures. And she's like, oh, and she said, I'm trans, or something along those lines, right? You could say,
Or
hey,
even-
respectfully, that really isn't my thing.
Yes.
I wish you the best, but like, I can't do this, whatever.
Yes.
And you could have
you're
walked
not an
out.
asshole for not wanting to date a trans person.
No,
That's
because
totally different.
sometimes...
Being an asshole to trans people makes you an asshole.
The reason you're an asshole
Is
because you said, you're a man. No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, if he had said, I didn't expect you to be trans, that would be totally different than if he said, I didn't expect you to be a man. Because I honestly, I would react the same way. If someone is like, I didn't expect you to be trans, I don't like trans women, like whatever, I've been there, and it is what it is.
And it
comes with
hurts,
territory. It
but
comes with
like-
territory. But if someone was like, I didn't expect you to be a man,
Yeah, no.
I would like, oh my God.
Well, but this is the thing. We face this a lot in our relationship, where people ask me constantly once they find out Victoria's trans if I'm gay. And
Oh
it's
my
the
God,
same
all the time.
insinuation. It's the
just-
same thing. It's just not saying.
They're waiting for the ray of sunshine to be like, oh, he just likes men, he's gay. They're waiting for any opening to be like, well, it's just 2 men in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, go
Yeah.
look at our fucking comments, probably on this video right here. Like, it's crazy. It does kind of tell me that you're not comfortable with yourself. Because sure, if you don't want to be with a trans woman, like, who cares? It's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're gonna freak out because your friends are gonna be there, like, notice how he said, we went to a restaurant where a lot of my friends go, and like, whatever.
He didn't want to be
He was-
seen with a trans woman.
Yes.
Or in his words, a man.
Yeah. So he's an asshole, but the asshole is just all of the above.
And listen, if you're dating someone on Tinder or whatever, there's going to be times where you meet them in person and something about them isn't what you thought it was going to be and whatever. Online dating is hard, and sometimes you're just going to meet and be like, nope, I don't really, like, this isn't for me and whatever. You could have handled it 100 times better. You could have handled, even just you getting up and leaving would have shown your friends that, oh, it was a catfish situation or whatever.
Yeah.
That would have been fine, and your friends would have been totally okay with it, but like, you had to yell.
Go out of the way and be like, I don't like men.
And you made it worse, because now
Also-
she's screaming in the restaurant and you're screaming. What the hell is going on?
So, I want to be a woman?
He accidentally
It was a
wrote.
typo.
He
But
meant to
he
say,
did
I want to be
say-
with a woman.
But he did say, I
wrote,
do want to be a woman.
Chasers sometimes be transitioning later.
Like I said, babe, video right up here, crypto trans. We are going to end it with this one. Would I be the asshole if I tell my trans sister that her interpretation of womanhood is misogynistic and really irritating?
Spicy.
This is already one that I can feel is gonna be just like a lot of the women in my comments. I make some wild videos sometimes, Exhibit A. If you feel like moisturizing takes up too much of your time, suck it up! To start this off, I love my sister. I support her 100%. When she told me that she's trans, I got behind it immediately. I referred to her with the correct pronouns privately and used her chosen name for a full year before she came out. I fought for her when members of her family rejected her, and I would and have immediately cut anyone off if they are in any way hateful towards her.
Okay.
When she came out, she was embraced by many, but was rejected loudly by enough people for it to be absolutely devastating. As a result, we became very close and spent much more time together than we did before. Now for the shitty part. Ever since she came out, she's been getting progressively more annoying. She fakes stupidity, like will actually put on a 2000s style Paris Hilton ditzy act. She's taken up cattiness that she never ever had before, and just recently I caught her pretending not to know how to put windshield wiper fluid in her car. Slay. Like, she actually created this whole scene where she was confused and needed help doing a task I know she can do because she taught me to do it when I got my license. Sounds like she's an icon. Let's keep going. A cousin eventually said something to her which resulted in a lot of tears and her calling that cousin transphobic. I know he's not, but he did come on really strong telling her that she's being fucking annoying. So I know that I have to tread very carefully. Now I'm wondering if this is just kind of like her going through the same self-discovery that I went through as a teenager and it'll pass. It is. I don't know if me breaking down for her new identity is really irritating as shit is any help if this is something she grows out of herself. I honestly don't know what to do. Okay, I'm sure my sister has had the same problem. A lot of trans women go through sort of like an age regression because we were unable to be the women we wanted to be as kids. So a lot of us have to take time healing our inner child. That's why you see a lot of trans women sometimes not really dressing or acting their age and trying to find like a space where they feel like they belong. A lot of us grew up, and I'm assuming she's somewhere around my age, a lot of us grew up looking at the 2000s girls like Paris Hilton and wanting to be like that and being like, that is like, just like super hyper femininity. They can finally embrace that and act on it. And so they're just acting out and like testing the waters and how they're supposed to act as like a hot girl. The windshield wiper thing, I've definitely done. I don't know how to do anything. Listen, is she saying that women are stupid? Is she saying that women have to do this or have to do that? No.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes her misogynistic. Is the interpretation based in misogyny? Maybe, but you could make that argument for bimbos, for sex workers, for high femmes in the lesbian community where they're taking femininity to a point where it's not even attractive to men anymore. In fact, that level of hyperfemininity often repels men. They don't want that. So I don't know that it's, you know, you can make an argument either way if it's misogynistic or not, but I think at the end of the day, if you're gonna say anything, be playful. If my sister was like, girl, you don't talk like that. Like, and I'm sure Nikki Hilton, Paris' sister, because Paris talks like this. Oh, and she's on camera, she talks like this.
We're just gonna grab my sister.
Hey Paris, how are you?
Good.
And her sister's always like, I fucking hate that voice. But that's just like what she does. It's fun. Like, you know what I mean? So I think approach it in a fun way. You know, don't say just because you're a girl now doesn't mean you have to be fucking annoying. Like, there's a way to approach it.
Don't make it a fight. I think you'd be an asshole if you make it a fight. I agree entirely with Victoria. Like, in the same way that you as a sister would be playful with her, like
flirting with a boy, being like, oh, I don't know how to, you know what I mean?
You'd be like, girl, get your shit together. What are you doing?
Girl, stand up.
Yeah, stand up. Bitch, you know how to put your windshield wiper fluid in. You know what I mean?
So
like roaster. I don't think it would be appropriate for you. I mean, you could do this, but I wouldn't. Like, you could sit down with her and be like, listen, I understand you're going through like a phase, you're experimenting with womanhood, and like, but I gotta tell you, this shtick you got going on sucks. Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
You could do something like that, but I think considering that she probably will grow out of it, right? And how old was she?
That's what I was just looking. It doesn't say the age.
It sounds to me like she's either a teenager or like a 20-year-old or something along those lines. And like, I gotta say, like, probably gonna grow out of it.
I'm sure she will.
When somebody doesn't get to experience a certain part of being a growing up a woman, they sometimes will go back and try it out because they never got to try it out. And like, she probably will pass. Yeah. So I think roast her within an inch of her life. And but be kind,
like,
joke with her,
sister joking, like, because sometimes sisters say some mean shit. I mean, we heard them a couple questions ago, but just, you know, be playful and maybe even embrace it with her. Like, watch Mean Girls, watch Clueless and Legally Blonde.
It's a part of her transition, and like, let her have it, but also you can be a sister and be like, okay, what are you doing? Like, in the same way you wouldn't tell a 14-year-old if she's being catty, like, you have a serious problem. Like, you wouldn't do that. You'd be like, quit it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just say not the asshole, depending on how you approach it. I'll just say not the asshole.
Be kind about it, be playful about it, and you won't be the asshole. Yeah.
Alright, so that's going to wrap up this court session. We put some people to death, we locked some people away, and there are some free to roam the streets. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. This was so much to film.
This was a lot of fun. So much fun to film.
Yeah, if you wanted to see more of these videos or like more of me and him, let us know down below. We actually kind of want to talk about incels and looks maxing soon, so
if you want to hear opinions, we'll give you opinions.
Thank you all for watching. This has been so much fun. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It helps out my channel so much. You are all amazing, and until I see you next week, good luck. I love you. Bye.